That was number 2.
Number 1.
And number 1 is the phenomenal AJ Styles.
To me, this shouldn't be a shock to anybody.
Yeah.
I think anybody who's got anybody that consciously watches wrestling,
anybody with 2 eyes.
I think it's just very easy to see that this guy is the total package. He's the best thing WWE's got going for them right now. He's the best thing they've got going for them since a long time. Right? Like,
he can work heel. He can work face. He can work a slow-paced match. He can work a fast-paced match. He can cut promos. He can do PR. He comes off as like a... He comes off sincere. He comes off like he actually cares about the industry. He comes off like he cares about his job. He comes off like he is AJ Styles, which some people just don't come off as their character, but he comes off as completely the real deal. And just a few weeks ago, I went back and watched his matches from WCW in 2001. And even 15 years ago, when he was, or 16 years ago, when he was, 21 years old or something like that, he was friggin' amazing. Yeah, he didn't have any in-ring psychology, from what I could see. He was basically just doing flips and acrobatics, but, I mean, there was nobody else doing what he was doing. And then you go from that to him being in Ring of Honor and TNA and New Japan and all the great matches he had in those companies. His 5-star match with Joe and Christopher Daniels. His matches in New Japan against people like Shinsuke. I'm not going to say he put Shinsuke on the map, but maybe to American audiences he did. And since he came into WWE, I wasn't a big fan of his feud against Jericho because I felt like he should have won that. But if he had won, I would have been a huge fan of that. But almost immediately after that, they started treating him like one of the top 2 stars in the company. And since then, he has proven every time he steps in the ring that he is the best performer going today. There's never a match where it doesn't look like he cares, Randy Orton. There's never a time where he looks out of place. He even helps people that mess up moves. He could have killed James Ellsworth with a Styles Clash, but he realized that Ellsworth tucked his chin instead of looking up like he's supposed to do with a Styles Clash, and he corrected it and made it so that while the moves looked like shit, he made it so that Ellsworth was protected. And I don't know if there's too many wrestlers nowadays that are going to mid-move adjust what they're doing to protect the person they're working with. And his character just says it all. He's phenomenal. I mean, there's nothing but good things I can say about AJ. And maybe one day he'll get a run with the club. Who knows? If not really going to care because he's doing great work now.
I don't think he needs it.
But there's no one better than AJ Styles. I even think the gap between him and Finn is pretty substantial. And Shin and Finn I have pretty close. But the gap between those 3 and everybody else, I think, is huge. And maybe that's me being a New Japan fanboy, because all 3 of them are products of New Japan in part. But AJ Styles is easily the best competitor they have going nowadays. And within next year he's going to be champion again.
Absolutely.
And I don't think he's going to be anything but main event caliber until he leaves WWE. So there's nothing he can do that.
No, it's to me it's not even close. Like it's AJ and then it's everybody else for me. And I'm not trying to ride his nuts or anything. It's just what the product he puts out. It's great. James Ellsworth is a joke of a person on wrestling, but the matches he had with Ellsworth, he carried Ellsworth through matches that were believable matches. Like for James Ellsworth to almost beat him, like AJ's talent, his capability of selling and to tell the story, his ring psychology is just insane. To believe that he carried Shane through the match at Mania, he made Shane look like Shane did this for his whole life. The Shane match was a believable match, like where Shane he made Shane look good. He makes everybody he wrestles look good, and the Jericho feud. I agree that I feel like it was the wrong person went over in it, but with how talented Jericho was, and to put him in the ring with a guy like AJ. That's just instant magic as far as your performance is concerned. And again, like I don't think anybody's even close to touching him as far as like just being everything. He's phenomenal on the mic. He's phenomenal in the ring. He's phenomenal as a face. He's phenomenal as a heel. The best John Cena matches I've ever seen in John Cena's career were against him. I would say, outside of maybe
Punk.
Maybe Punk, and maybe, probably just Punk, which, Punk is really good also, obviously. And, but it's just anything, and, like, you can't help but to appreciate what he brings, regardless of whatever, and I don't think anybody's been able to, nobody's been such a breakout just full package like that since Shawn, I think. And I would even argue, and not to piss off, hardcore Shawn fans, but I would argue that he may be better than Shawn ever was.
He certainly has a better attitude.
And like Shawn being considered like one of the top performers ever, like I enjoy AJ's matches just as much as I ever enjoyed Shawn's matches. Right? I mean, I think if you put AJ against some of the names that Shawn got to face, there's just history to be made with this guy. Every feud he gets in is exciting to think about, to consider. Even, you put even now with him basically been feuding for the U.S. title, which is the sub-tier title, which is the no one cares about title or whatever. Like, that was a bigger feud to me than Jinder and Randy was.
Yeah.
And that's your main title picture. And again, it's one of those things like I would like to see the Money in the Bank coming up with those guys. As much as I'd like to see Shinsuke win it, like I don't think you can go wrong with AJ winning it either. I think AJ would be a great feud for Jinder to go into after Randy is over. Hopefully, after this pay-per-view, Randy's over. Because I think if WWE is going to stick with Jinder for any length of time, I think working with AJ would be tremendous help for Jinder. I thought the match that they had was pretty good on SmackDown. And I think it's a good rub. It'd be anybody that you let go over on AJ, it's a tremendous rub to go over on him. And you really can't. There's not really any matches where you make AJ look weak. I don't think. I think his performance, regardless if he wins or loses, he's a strong competitor coming out of it. And I'm super excited for the different matchups they can set up with him. The different, just so many scenarios they can set up with him. If Omega makes it to the WWE, which people were talking about a lot recently.
Man, a three-way between Omega, Finn, and AJ.
There's just so much to be excited for with him. And I think I think he's the face. I think he is.
He's the face to run the place.
He's gonna. I think the character he is on TV. It was a gimmicky catchphrase to feud with Cena, but I think he has become that guy. He is SmackDown. Like if you think SmackDown right now, just like when SmackDown started, it was The Rock show. SmackDown is AJ Styles show right now. Even with Shinsuke coming up, it's AJ show, and I think it'll continue to be AJ show until AJ decides he doesn't want it to be a show anymore.
Okay.
And just the like I said, endless things you could do with them. Even if they do a roster mix up again, and he makes it to Raw, the guys he could face there on Raw, it's just as much excitement there. Even putting him against the hated Roman Reigns, just anything with AJ. I think it's money. It's instant. It's just great. Hopefully, like I said, again, the only thing to worry about with him is the same thing you worry about with guys like what they did with Punk. When Punk was in the company, I felt like Punk was hands down the best guy they had there. Like the total package, everything. And needless to say, Punk's attitude and his persona are a little bit more confrontational, I would say, than AJ's. I imagine Punk's a kind of a hard guy to get along with, judging by his personality. But still, just the magic they can make with AJ. I think they scored big with him, and I will never not be excited for SmackDown Live just because I know he's on that show. Yeah. If that whole show can tank, but if AJ's got a match on the show, you're getting at least one good match each night. And again, I think he's the goal. He's where everybody has to strive to be right now if they want to make it.
Aside from just how great he is, too, to wrestle the style that he does, to take as many risks as he does, and when you think of the moves he used to do, too, that he doesn't do so much anymore, like the Fosbury flop or whatever you want to call it, his little shooting star press where he just jumps straight over the top rope to the outside, and his little corkscrew swanton that he used to do. He does moves like that, and I'm not 100% sure how much time he's missed, but I don't think he's missed very much time in his entire career.
Well, not just the risk he takes too, the bumps that he takes in matches. He takes bumps a lot of people. Not to keep just worshiping this guy, but he bumps as good as to me. Dolph Ziggler's probably the best person at taking bumps, and AJ's right there with him, not very far behind. If anything,
I actually put AJ above Dolph there because Dolph can be a little cartoony sometimes.
Yes, I get that, but AJ takes nasty bumps. He took nasty bumps against Shane, who in the Mania match, which again it's a gimmicky match, but it was I was there live, one of the best matches of the night for me. He took the bumps he took against Cena were pretty bad because they made that was such a high caliber feud that they pulled out movesets that they don't use.
Even the biggest Roman Reigns fan has to admit that the match they had, I don't remember which one it was, but the one that got into the crowd and all that, AJ took all the bumps in that match. Mm-hmm. He got thrown onto the pre-show table. He got tossed around the entire arena. And he made Roman Reigns look like $1 million. And sure, Roman is part of that. But that match would have not been anywhere near that quality if AJ hadn't been there.
Plugging anybody else but AJ in that match is a lesser match.
There's nothing that anyone can put against AJ. You can say his accent's a hindrance, but I think that makes him more likable because he sounds more like a real person.
So, yeah, he sounds like a normal person like you and me. And I like it. Regardless of his voice, because there's people that voices syndrome. If going back to
Seth
Finn,
Rollins.
or Seth is a big one. And going back to Finn, like my biggest shot on Finn is his mic work, and I think his voice is kind of a weaker, like it's not a tough guy voice. It's a, it's kind of a weaker sounding guy, like in a funny like Scottish accent or whatever.
Like a leprechaun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it works against him. But AJ, his character, his personality, and he takes that and he just like it's to me it's not a hindrance at all to him. To me it's every bit what makes
His
him.
accent for most people would be a hindrance, but I think for him it just gives him like a southern swagger.
Yeah, to me it makes it's every bit of what makes him him. It's one of the many things that makes him unique and makes him just phenomenal.
The phenomenal one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we could talk for hours about AJ and probably anyone on this
Probably
list.
all these guys, and and like, don't take this list like don't get defensive about it. I know there's guys on this list there's guys in the current roster right now that should be on this list. There's when we were actually like brainstorming this list together. There's I listed a top 10. He listed a top 10, and we compared and we developed like a universal top 10. But there's divas or women. Sorry, I don't want to refer to them as divas. There's women in the company right now that are doing.
We made the conscious decision for anyone that's going to complain that we didn't include Charlotte or Bailey or someone like that on here. We didn't include them because we're trying to keep this more of a concise male list. We'll probably do
We'll probably do a
we'll do a
women's
women's one later on.
list.
But for now, we felt like doing just the male superstars, and I mean, I'm sure in a couple weeks this list would change.
Yeah, it could very easily.
I'm sure.
Like right now, I'm big on I'm a minority, but I'm big on the gender push right now. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to see what he has to offer. It's something completely fresh that no one saw coming, which is something we haven't experienced in a long time. And I think like I said, I'm excited for it. I'm a big underdog fan. I'm a big there's guys that have been just working their tails off, doing stupid gimmicks and being jobbers and stuff like that never get their chance. And to see one finally get it, I think it's really cool. It's a really cool thing to be a part of as a fan and as a viewer. And I think it could lead to a lot more.
And to anyone that's like automatically assuming that Gender did steroids, I mean, he's more cut than he ever was, but he's not all that much bigger than he was before.
Yeah.
When he first started in WWE, he was a pretty good sized dude. He just got flabby in 3MB because he didn't care and he drank every night. But
I mean, as much as his fitness maybe helped him out, though, I think this is more of he paid his dues and WWE's giving him a chance. Like, granted, like obviously they're getting ready for the big tour in India. Or
they're
whatever.
doing a push in India.
So they want to have that kind of presence there, which that's business. That's marketing. That's marketing genius, in my opinion. But
I mean, there's a reason Asuka's going to be on the WWE Japan tour.
But there's so many guys like in the past that were just great, but they never got that push to the top. That who knows what it would have been. You got guys, even guys that are still there today. A big exciting thing for me right now, the old Goldust character coming back. Goldust to me was one of the biggest iconic characters in wrestling history. When they actually did the gimmicky characters, he was perfect at it. Like, he became that person, and I felt like he was underappreciated and underused. I felt like there's a lot of great things they could have done with that character. That if he gets that, and who knows, Gender could surprise a lot of people. I think if he's given the chance, a lot of people are rejecting it right off rip. For me, anybody but Randy holding that belt's a great thing, because I think Randy.
He doesn't care.
I think Randy's checked out. Personally, I'm not a Randy Orton hater. Used to be a big fan of Randy, but I feel like he's checked out over the recent years, where there's the passion just doesn't seem to be there.
He's
And I
at
could be way off. I don't know the guy personally.
he's
but
at that Scott Hall level where he's capable of putting on a great match any night. It's just what version of him's going to show up that night.
yeah. Yeah, he's one. I don't think anything away from him. He's one of the most talented guys in the industry, but like again, just watching him perform, like go back and watch him perform as the Legend Killer or when he was in Evolution, like that era, Randy Orton, or even when he first became the Viper, when he first debuted this whole, like kind of crazy voices in my head persona. It was exciting. It was fresh. And he seemed to.
He's just a dude with a.
He seemed to be all into it, and now he's just a guy who wants to come out and hit some big RKO spot, and that's all he cares about is hitting a big spot with his finisher and being done with it.
His matches early, you get beat up, hit your backbreaker, get beat up some more, do your comeback, do your snap power slam,
You DDT from the rope, and
do
then
vintage, and then hit your RKO.
and then an RKO out of nowhere.
Basically,
and that's it. Like, I feel like even when he lost to Jinder, I don't feel like he did Jinder any. I don't think he did anything to help Jinder look good that match. Granted, like the way they wrote Jinder to go over was dirty, but still, you want it to be believable.
Yeah.
And a big part of that is the person that's dropping or the person that's jobbing out is supposed to help that person seem believable. And Randy, to me, doesn't do that for anybody. And he hasn't done that for anybody in a long time. Even to Bray, when he lost to Bray, it wasn't anything worth going home about.
Yeah.
And especially when he won the Rumble, I was actually excited about him winning the Rumble. I was like, okay, maybe we'll see a resurgence of this guy, of what he was before people got bored with him and Cena wrestling each other for 2 years. I said maybe we'll see something different. Maybe we'll see like a spark come out of it, and then it quickly cycled back to the same thing it was. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know if his passion is just not there anymore. If he's more worried about marking out against indie guys for whatever reason, whatever vendetta he has against these guys.
I think he just wants to get his stuff in, get his paycheck, and go home.
Yeah,
but we could go on and on about anybody. And there's plenty of guys that if we revisit this list, may not be on the list. There might be some that are on the list. It could change. This is just what we feel today. And
a lot of this could change this Sunday.
Yeah.
At the paper after the pay-per-view, this list could change.
But as for now, that's our list. This has been Answering the Count. Looks like we both got a double count out here. And AJ Styles as our undisputed
number one, phenomenal one,
best wrestler going today. So before you leave, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it on whatever social media platform you're on. And thanks for coming. I'm Justin.
I'm Maddie.
And this has been the first ever Shootcast.